Never stop fighting for what you believe in. I expected more from you.
Alright, hello everybody, this is Muttley, and we are going to be talking about Anna Amari today. She just got released onto the PTR, and she's probably going to be out in a couple of weeks, and this is the newest hero in Overwatch. She's pretty interesting concept, honestly. She is a support sniper, which, you know, the rumors that have been going around for about 3 or 4 months have pretty much been all confirmed. She's a healer that heals from range with a sniper rifle. So we're going to go over her abilities real quick. Her biotic rifle is a long-range rifle that heals allies and damages enemies. There's no data on how much exactly it heals, but it looks like every shot does about 70 damage or healing, because it takes about 3 shots to kill the training bots, which have 200 health each. So somewhere around 70, 75. That's interesting because she's going to be a little bit maybe less reliable as a healer than, say, you know, Mercy, who's doing a static 50 health per second. Because if you're missing your shots, you're not healing. Her left shift is a sleep dart, which fire a dart that puts an enemy to sleep. It looks like it lasts for about 3 or 4 seconds, and it doesn't say it here, but any damage taken will cause the sleep dart to fall off. So you got to make sure you're being careful when you use it. It's not like a stun like McCree's flashbang or something. It's more of a defensive tool or an ult stopper than anything. But you do have to aim it, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So just be aware of that. The biotic grenade is her E. Her E, it throws a grenade a lot like McCree's flashbang. if it hits an ally, it heals them a little bit and increases the healing they take for a few seconds. And if it hits an enemy, it does the opposite. It increases the amount of damage they take, and it does a little bit of damage as well. And then her ultimate, Nano Boost, increases an ally's speed and damage and reducing the damage that they take. This is going to be a really interesting one. It works a lot like Zenyatta's orbs, where you get a target on the ally and you get a target on your ally and you press Q and then it just automatically hits them. So you don't need to worry about aiming this one, which is really good. Seems like it could be kind of interesting. So we're just going to go over her, how she plays and how it feels, and then we're gonna jump into some games and see how she runs, both playing with her and as her. So we're gonna play a couple games playing tanks and offense and defensive heroes and see how well she heals, because I'm sure everyone's gonna be playing, and then we're gonna try and see if we can snag her before anyone else does and try her out. So she's got a scope just like Widow. It's exactly the same. It looks like it's about the same distance. So when you shoot someone, it does about a third of these bots' health, and if you notice, it's over time. There is no direct hit damage. So you're going to have to be careful with this, because you're not going to kill someone right away, and they do have time to kill you, even if they're low health. One thing to note also is there are no headshots. It does the same amount and takes 3 shots regardless of if you shoot them in the body or the head. The weapon can be fired outside of scope, and it consumes the same amount of ammo. So unlike Widowmaker's SMG type thing, this is still does the same amount of damage. Still 6 shots. Pretty straightforward. So see the E attack has a 10-second cooldown, short range, and you have to manually aim it. So you got to be careful with that, because whiffing that could be a big deal. So we'll wait till these guys take some health. Lose some health, and then we will show you how that works. So you throw it, see, and it healed them immediately, but it also makes my heal more effective. So really interesting for a quick close range heal. It works the same on enemies. So 3 shots for this bot, and 1 shot for that bot. So it's pretty powerful. It does work in an area of effect, so you can heal multiple players. But the thing is it's kind of close range. It doesn't. I mean, you can't throw it super far. You can lob it pretty good, 20-30 yards, but it's going to be hard to hit multiple players, accurately at long range. So you're going to have to be careful with her. She has no mobility, so she can't grapple or wall climb or anything. She doesn't have double jump or a glide or any way to get around the battlefield, so you're going to have to be really careful. It seems like a lot of her playstyle is going to be kind of staying behind your enemies, out of the line of fire. So, if these are our enemies, our fake enemies here, and these are our allies, you're going to do something like, you're going to be hiding out of their line of sight and shooting your allies like this, just kind of keeping them up. She's not going to be able to keep people up against sustained fire any more than the other healers are. And she's going to be kind of interesting. I think she's going to be kind of a niche hero, because she's got a lot of potential in terms of being able to, add heals and damage. Her E does affect herself as well, so just keep that in mind. Onto her left shift. So her left shift is actually a skill shot. This is going to make things really interesting for her, because you can't just instantly do it. I mean, you actually have to shoot it, and there is a slight delay. So I just missed there, even though, I was aiming like right here. So the hitboxes are kind of weird on it, and it does have a slight delay, so lag's going to be a factor if your connection's bad. But, when you hit it, it puts them down, for a couple seconds. It looks about 3 or 4 seconds, which is pretty useful. So if it's a one-on-one situation, you can use this to escape. You can also use this to shut down an ult. If you've seen the announcement video for Anna, she shut down a McCree ult by shooting with that. So it's going to be pretty powerful in the hands of a decent player. But there is travel time on it too, so you have to be careful. It doesn't look like there's any fall off or dropping, but it does take a second to travel there, so you're going to have to kind of lead your shots. The other thing to note is that if anyone takes damage, it does reverse it. So, well, if I could actually hit it. We'll just kind of shoot around here for now. So if they actually take damage from the shot, it will end up, or while they're asleep, it'll end up waking them up. So
Next time.
See, it wakes him up right away. So you have to be careful of that. It's not going to be something that you're not going to be able to get into a team fight and then take out their Reinhardt for 4 seconds while you kill their Mercy or something. It's going to be something that you use to shut down ults,
You look tired.
to pin down someone in a one-on-one situation, so you can either get away or kill them, or to stun a healer and get them away from the group for a sec so you can kill them. It seems like she's going to be played... You're not going to want to be really campy with her, it seems. And we haven't gotten into games yet, so we're going to do that in a sec here. But it seems like you don't want to be very campy with her, because if you are, you're going to lose sight of your teammates. And she doesn't fire incredibly fast. This is the held down fire rate for her. So she can't really out-heal anybody. This is as fast as she can go, so you're going to have to be careful. I think she's going to be played more kind of like Zenyatta is, where the healing is secondary. But the danger is that, like Zenyatta and earlier during the open beta and the first couple weeks of the game, people assumed that Symmetra could heal. So if Symmetra filled the support role, nobody would take a healer. I think Ana's kind of going to have the same problem, where you're probably not going to want to take her as your primary healer unless you're really good with her. Not to mention the E effect on allies that increases the healing they receive, that works from all sources. So it's really important to recognize that she can work well with a Lucio or a Mercy or a Zenyatta to increase their healing. The interesting thing about the E2 that they don't really talk about in the tooltip, they do. It prevents enemies from healing. So we can't show it here, but if you've got like a soldier that, runs around a corner and puts down their little healing station, you can just throw that and nullify it and completely prevent him from healing. It also works on Roadhog, and Roadhog's kind of become a big problem for the game right now. I mean, he's not overpowered or anything, but he's definitely becoming a prominent tank, and so a clever Ana can... I don't know if it's Ana or Ana. I'm just going to say Ana. A clever Ana can shut down Roadhog heals, which is really interesting, because you can, if your team is pushing on that Roadhog, he's probably not going to use his heal until he's under 300, so just kind of time it for when he gets halfway and then hit him with it, prevent his healing, and finish him off. She's going to be really useful in that sense, and her, the nature of her weapon as a dot is going to be interesting, because she can kind of keep people taking damage even after she's moved. But overall, I think she's going to be one of those niche healers that's not amazing unless you're amazing. It's really, really high skill floor and a very high skill ceiling. So we'll see. I'm going to jump into a game here after I show you the ult. So once you're all charged up, your Q, you've probably seen this as I've been talking, but your Q activates on people, and the minute you use it, it powers them up. So it makes them take less damage, and if this guy was moving, he would be moving more, and he'd be moving faster, and he'd be able to deal more damage himself. So it's really powerful. I don't know the exact numbers on it yet because they haven't been released, but I'm sure we'll have those within a week or so. So we're going to charge our ult back up here real quick, so that we can try it on one of the moving targets up there and see how fast they move. Okay.
Lights out.
So I think that shift ability is going to be really interesting, because it requires a little bit of skill in aiming.
Watching your back.
There you go. So it looks like the E heal is pretty powerful, which is good. We don't want a weak healer. That's never good. Her shots are hit scan like Widow. It seems there doesn't seem to be any travel time like Hanzo's arrows. So let's see, where is that guy? He's up here. So she's going to be really, I think she's going to be really interesting. Definitely a different way to play. A fast-paced heal as opposed to the slow passive heals that we have is kind of unique. I think there's potential here. So we're gonna watch how fast this guy moves, because he's just kind of plodding along, and we're gonna see how fast the buff actually makes him once he starts moving here. So it's pretty significant. It looks like it's about the speed of Lucio's speed boost, which is good. I think that's going to be really interesting. It looks like it lasts about 6 to 8 seconds. I think that's going to be useful for pushing points. Putting that on a tank will make them not only do more damage, but also take less damage, which makes your job easier. I don't think it's going to be game-changing since it can only target one player. It's not going to be like a a Pharah ult that can wipe the team, but definitely I think it'll have its place. It'll be interesting to see. So we're going to jump into a game here, and we're going to see how she plays. Let's take a look here. We'll just do quick play for now. Actually, it looked like there was a brawl. Let's see what that is. Ana, Diva, Reinhardt, Roadhog, Winston, Zarya. That's perfect. So we can kind of see how she interacts with tanks. So we're going to try this out first. And nice, that was quick. So we're going to try this out first. I'm sure most people will be wanting to play the healer, so I'll probably just play Roadhog or Reinhardt. So I can kind of get a feel for how it feels to play with her and see how powerful her heal is. We'll see. I think Roadhog's probably a good pick. Yeah, so I'm going to select Roadhog on this one, and we're going to see what happens here. Oh boy, a lot of Anas. So it'll be really interesting because I want to see both how her heal stacks up compared to Lucio and Mercy, and to a lesser extent Zenyatta, but I also want to see how the enemy team's heal stopping work. So I'm going to actually purposely try and heal myself during the heal stopping. Eventually I'd like to get some teammates on so that we can actually test and see how much damage she does in a game. This is, oh boy. So she's got a little tooltip to let you know when an ally is being healed by. And God, this sound is just going to be something else. Her design is really cool, though. I really like her character. I think that's going to be a cool addition to the game. Definitely unique. I mean, I know Team Fortress 2, the medic eventually received a crossbow weapon that allowed them to heal, and apparently 99% of the players were terrible. I never played Team Fortress 2, but I've heard terrible things about the crossbow. So hopefully this is a little bit better, because she can provide a lot of offensive capability as well. And I think the fact that her rifle is it seems a little bit more reliable than Widow's. It feels better to shoot, so hopefully we'll see that. So we're gonna see what happens here. Okay. So I want to see how much damage they can actually do. Oh wow, they actually do a lot of damage. So it seems like you don't want to really take a lot of damage from these guys. So I can't heal now. And you can see that there's a purple no heal thing there. So we're gonna, there we go. Oh boy, missing my hooks like crazy. She has 200 health, I forgot to mention that. So I can't heal there. Heal up real quick. Oh wow, so that thing blocks a ton of damage, because that was a... There we go. That was a direct hit. There it is. Oh, well done. So there you go. That's what we're going to see. You're going to see a lot of ult blocking with her, and I think that's her most powerful ability, honestly. On hook. Oh, I was unarmed. Gotta make sure I'm watching that. Okay. See, so it seems like she's not super amazing at taking out tanks. I think one thing, people are going to be too focused on actually sniping with her to do damage. And that knockdown effect is going to be kind of rough too, honestly. Okay. So, yep, so I used my heal and it actually reduced the amount of healing that I had. No! Okay. See, so I think we're going to see a lot of this where people are not... She's very powerful, it seems, but again, like most of the supports, not amazing on her own. I think one of the problems is that everyone's going to want to play her, so we're not actually going to see how one single Ana works. And that's going to be interesting. That's going to be really interesting. I would give it like 2 weeks probably, and we're going to start seeing people play her less because they realize that they're not helping. And, you know, I mean, the elite hack snipers are probably going to be... Okay, so it seems that this pretty much makes you invincible. It's pretty hard to die with this on. So yeah, I just cannot die, it seems. So I don't know why my HUD is turning purple. I guess that's all the damage that I'm taking from their ability. Oh boy, that is annoying. There we go. So it looks like she can put out some decent damage. Let's try Reinhardt and see how that works. So it looks like the heal is just reduced and not completely stopped, but we'll have to do some more testing on that. I'll probably have a separate video / stream up for that. Oh, release the gremlin. There we go. Okay, so it doesn't look like she can do a whole hell of a lot of damage to Rein. I don't know if that dot... is affected by armor, where each tick takes a certain amount of damage off, because like armor reduces the damage done by each individual instance of damage by... Yeah, so that... It looks like the grenade is pretty powerful and can take you out pretty quickly, so you want to be careful. That might also be because I'm being hit by like 4 or 5 of them at a time. She's definitely an interesting character, though. It seems... I don't know, it seems like she's going to be useful, but she's not insanely powerful on her own. And I missed everybody with that, Jesus. Really interesting. Really interesting. So I'm gonna jump in and play a game as her as well, just so I can kind of get a feel for how she plays. I definitely love her character design. I think she's really neat. So we're gonna do one more game. I'm just gonna jump out of this real quick. And we're gonna do another game. And I'm gonna actually play as Anna and get a feel for or Anna. I don't know if it's Anna or Anna, so we'll just kind of keep figuring that out as we go. Very interesting character, though. I'm really, really excited to see her in action. I hope that she's good. I'm worried that she's going to kind of be like Zenyatta and that she's not really picked too often. And she's kind of, you know, high skill floor, you know, high barrier to entry. I really hope that that's not the case. I really hope that we see Zenyatta. I really hope that we see Zenyatta and Anna getting a good place in the meta, because right now Zenyatta's not really being picked at tournament level. He gets picked sometimes in quick play and competitive matches, but not often. And it seems like she might end up kind of in that same zone where, because of her difficulty to play, she might not see as much play as we'd like, but we'll see. It'll be interesting. I mean, she's on the PTR for numbers, so that's not too bad. I'm hoping we see some interesting stuff. I really am. The grenade seems to be actually a really useful skill for doing some damage. But again, I think it really depends on how many you're running. Because I was getting hit by 3 or 4 grenades at a time, and they do a chunk of damage on their own and then reduce the healing and increase the damage you take. So it might have been that I was dealing with, you know, 3 or 4 grenades at a time, and one is actually pretty reasonable. It seems like while she's a sniper, she's going to be kind of played somewhat like Hanzo, where you're not really far back, just because you want to be able to have vision on your teammates. And so an interesting thing... Oh, they've got the new...
After everything that happened, I needed time. And a haircut very many.
Okay, I need to test that. I'm going to have to test that. I want to know if you can shoot Reinhardt through his shield. I'm assuming you can. But it would be interesting. You know, it's interesting to test. We got to know. I think she's going to be played, like I was saying, I think she's going to be played like Hanzo, though, where she's more of a, you know, you're not really scoping in all that much. You're more, I mean, maybe, we'll see on the sightlines. But I think she's going to be kind of mid-range, kind of behind her tanks, but not like way far back like Widow players. We'll see.
Attack commencing. Capture objective A.
Enemy contact.
Okay. Getting a little bit of lag on the PTR, though. That's always fun. Another interesting thing is Zarya's shield. See how that... Alright. So, it looks like when you're getting attacked, you should really use your shift. I like her shooting animation on this. She's really cool, really well-designed character. We'll look at the skins in a separate section here. I just want to get a feel for how she plays. So let's see if we can hit some of those left shifts. Nope. See what I mean, though? You're not really going to be scoping all that much because it reduces your movement speed, and you can be hitting your shots.
I have your back. Nano ready to deploy.
Oh, okay, so there's something interesting. There's something interesting with Reinhardt, is you can stun them and then give him a free...
You're going to be okay.
Give him a free charge.
It's just a scratch.
Nicely done. Okay.
I have you covered. Enemy might.
Yeah, it's much easier to shoot without the scope. So that's pretty much how she's going to be played, I think, is like a healing Hanzo. Put that in there.
Get back. My shots find them.
Objective A captured.
Okay, it looks like she respects the same hitboxes.
Securing the base.
Oh, that's not good. This is another thing, is her ult is not as game-changing as like a Lucio ult or a
Sniper is moving. Justice delivered.
Mercy ult, where you know you can block a full
Get
ult.
back. This will only hurt for a minute.
Okay, so yeah, it looks like you're gonna wanna you can use your left shift to stun players and save your teammates, and you can also use it to kill enemies. So. Now we gotta learn. There we go. Yep. Okay. She's interesting. She's interesting. It looks like you're gonna have to kind of prioritize your targets depending on the situation, but she's got a good kit. The stun is really good because you can you know you can protect yourself from it, or you can set up like an ult with it. You can stop ults with it. Her E does a good chunk of damage and healing, and can also be used to aid a secondary healer. I wish she had some sort of movement ability so you could actually snipe her, though. So it's interesting. I wonder if her shots also take out.
Nano beams administered. Get in
It looks like Ana can also counter herself by preventing healing. Okay. Very interesting character, though.
You should be
Yeah, it looks like the grenade can kind of be used kind of like a Junkrat mine, where you can just throw it out and get some quick damage.
Stay out of my way.
You can also use it to save.
Heal up. And a hair would be minute. This will only hurt for a minute.
Yeah, it looks like the shift is going to be something that's really powerful if you're good with it, but if you're bad with it, then there's no point in having it. Oh. So that's how you use your shield there. And then you want to be putting pressure on him.
You're called out. Get in there. I've seen worse. You're going to live.
Yeah. So she seems to be played more like a Hanzo than a Widow. I'll play the next game as a actual like sniper, and I'll try and stay back.
Administer. This will help.
It seems like she's going to be good, though. I'm really excited. Honestly, I am excited for this. I don't know what Babe's Ultimate is saying.
Take your This will only hurt for
Yeah, so I'm going to try and snipe with her on the next game, unless, well, I mean, we got a couple minutes, they could easily stop us here, and I'll try sniping from far and seeing how that works. But it seems like her best position is kind of a mid-range position, where she's behind the tank, but not so far back like these guys are doing here. I mean, you're not really helping. You're not really helping here.
I'm fire.
Yeah, see, they're not really healing very much. I've got golden heals. Oh, missed that one. So yeah, those...
Sniper, keep moving. You're going to be okay.
Something I'm not seeing a lot of is players healing each other. Ah. Okay, it's good though. I mean, she feels fun. It doesn't feel impossible to shoot with her. I think that a lot of players are going to use her unscoped, but I think that there is a lot of potential considering she's long range. I think we're going to see some scoping.
You're going to be okay.
Okay. Here.
Get in there.
Firing your shift into... There we go. We got it. Well done. So firing your shift into a crowd doesn't seem like it's necessarily a bad idea because it can kind of interrupt people, but it seems like, man, Babe's only, oh boy, salty, salty, salty. It seems like it's going to be a really useful ability in a lot of situations. You can stop ults, you can set up charges and other attacks, you can just, you know, use it to save yourself or another ally. I think that that's really going to make the, you know, separate the good. Yeah, look at that. She doesn't do a lot of healing though. That's the thing, is she seems more like a Zenyatta than a Mercy or a Lucio. I think Babes Only has some issues. So next we're going to go into Hero Gallery and we're going to take a look at her skins and emotes and victory poses and things like that, because they do have all of them already done, which is really cool. So her classic skin is the one that we saw teased in the Dorado newspapers asking who Sombra was. I think that she is definitely Sombra, and we'll see some evidence of that in a sec. So the recolors, they look really nice. It doesn't look like it does change her coat as well as the details on her weapons and stuff. I think they look really good though. I think they look really good. I like the green one a lot. This one looks really nice too. Kind of reminds me of the ghosts from StarCraft. So I really like this one. I think the reason it's called Merciful is it's kind of taking from Mercy's design. I like the lack of hood. That's really interesting. And this one is so cool. So this one actually has her mask down, and the teal and purple is absolutely just, it's so cool. I love that they actually made 250 skin that has an actual different a different skin, because like carbon fiber Genji and Chrome Genji, for example, it changes the whole skin color, but it doesn't change anything about his character. Whereas this, it actually gives her a mask, which I think is really cool, just a little bit different. So I bet you a lot of people are going to be using this one. And for the legendaries, we got Wadjet, kind of a Tusken Raider style. I like the ammo belt and the teeth there, just really neat looking. Wasteland is just a recolor of that. I think it looks really good too. Reminds me of Borderlands colors with the red and yellow. And then she's got her Captain Amari skin. I think it looks really sick. I like that she's got a coat similar to 76 or the Commander Morrison, and then a recolor of that one, which looks nice as well. So all of them honestly look really good. I think Shrike is my favorite overall. I like all four of the legendaries as well. I think all the skins look good though. There's no skins that I'm like, there's no Industrial Zarya. there's definitely good things going on here. Let's see, emote. So her heroic emote, she just kind of holsters her rifle. She's got the old lady disapproving look. She's got a hologram of her daughter. That's pretty cool. Oh, and I know what everybody's going to be using. That is beautiful. Making tea right in front of the players. So victory poses, her heroic, just holding her rifle again. Mission complete, rifle over the shoulder. Looks really good. Protector, kind of walking forward almost, cradling the rifle. And then seated. Oh, I like this one a lot. This is a really cool one. Voice lines.
Delivered. Children, behave.
Justice delivered.
Children, behave. Everyone dies. It takes a woman to know it.
Interesting that she has the Arabic line. I think that's Arabic. I don't speak Arabic, so I don't know. Interesting that she has the Arabic line of Farah.
Mother knows best. No scope needed.
Interesting. Seems like Blizzard devs kind of expected her to not use a scope. Very, very interesting.
Need someone to tuck you in? What are you thinking? Need someone to tuck you in? What are you thinking? Witness me.
That one will be used a lot, I bet.
You know nothing.
And that one, yeah. Good voice lines. I like them. Let's see some of the sprays. It doesn't look like they have sprays for her. Yes, they do. Okay. So there's the action. On a bearer. We're just going to kind of go through these quickly. We'll look at the achievements in a sec. I like that one though. Eye patch. There's So apparently she pronounces her daughter's name Faria, even though we've all been pronouncing it Farah. I don't know what's up with that. I'm sure they'll figure it out. Interesting that they made this mask such an iconic part of her teaser design. In the Dorado newspapers, the files on her, and the teaser with her up on the building on Dorado, she has the mask on, but only one of her skins actually uses the black and blue color scheme with the mask. I'm not opposed to it. I think it looks better. It gives her more personality that she's not behind a mask. I think we should leave that to Reaper and Roadhog. Too many mask characters makes them all seem less interesting. Got a grenade. Cool sniper. So this is reference to, if you noticed on her character model, she's got an eye patch, and that is because Widowmaker shot her. And that's why she was presumed dead, because she was shot by Widowmaker through the scope. So hesitation is reference to that. Kind of interesting lore bit. So I like all these. They all look good. So this is referencing her reveal, or her Hero Origins trailer that was put up today, actually, July 12th. So go check that out. It should be on Play Overwatch, or I think Eurogamer. The Eurogamer YouTube channel had it, so you can go check that out there. Kind of the matte coloring that they do. Photo of her with baby Farah. There's the Pixel one, looks nice. Pixel skins or Pixel sprays are some of my favorite. Her rifle. Shadow with her daughter. Kind of interesting that they're highlighting that. Farah and Soldier, I'm sure you've heard it, but Farah and Soldier have the lines where they're interacting, and he's saying that her mother would have been proud of her, and Farah says, "Oh, you don't know my mother very well." So kind of interesting that a big part of her character design is talking about being a mother and protecting her daughter, when Farah doesn't seem to agree. So, ooh, I like this one a lot. This is cool. Kind of reminds me of the Reaper sprays. So there's her little stun gun. The Wedjat, which I guess is the symbol. This is what that symbol's called. It's like a protective symbol or something. So it's interesting that this must be the power up her ult. And then she's got the Z skin. That's cool. Highlight intros, let's check these out. So heroic, she just cradles her rifle as always. Guardian. Interesting. Oh, I like that one. I like that one a lot. And that's the best one. Oh, character design is wonderful. Let's take a look at the golden gun so you can see it. I mean, I honestly don't like any of the golden guns personally. I think that they just look weird and out of place. But, you know, I mean, for some people, they'll look good. Let's take a look at the skins again and see if there's any that will match. I think the golden gun could look good with this one. It might look good with the white. I think that's nice. The wasteland, it could fit. And the Horus, I think, could fit. I don't think with the blue. The blue and the gold might look good, actually. I mean, it's really, you know, it's personal preference. But that's pretty much everything there is for Ana Amari. I think she's a really neat character. I think that she's going to fit right in with the rest of the cast. And I hope that we see good Anas. I really don't want to see, you know, the quote-unquote Widowmaker main switching over to Ana and then never healing. Because we saw in the last game, I got golden healing with 3,000, and my most played hero is Lucio. Career profile. Most played is Lucio with 21 hours, and if we go over to Lucio, real quick, I mean, let's see if we can find healing here. I don't know where they put it at, but average healing is twice of what I got with Amari at gold. Most in life I've done 7k. Most done in game is 14,000. So kind of gives you an idea of, you know, on average I'm healing about 6,500 with Lucio. Let's take a look at Mercy, because I play quite a bit of Mercy as well. Not as much though. So let's see. Let's take a look at average healing 5,500. Healing done most in life 5,300. Most in game 13,000. So it looks like Ana's going to be a little bit less strong in regards to healing. Let's take a look at Zen too. I don't play much Zen, but I have played him a bit. I play him more offensively, so average healing is about 3k. So it looks like she's going to play more like Zenyatta, where you're focusing more on dealing damage to enemies and helping your allies take them out than being dedicated healer. So just personally, I would recommend taking a secondary healer. If you've already got a Mercy or a Lucio, that's the time to queue into Ana Amari. I don't think we're going to see that, though. I think that most people are going to queue her up right away in competitive and quick play, and then everyone is going to disregard healing because they don't like healing, and we're going to see subpar healing from her from most players. It seems like you have to be pretty focused on healing to do anything substantial. I'm hopefully going to have another person on that can test numbers with me later, but for now I'm all by myself. So this has pretty much been, you know, Ana Amari, the overview. You've got to see her skins, you got to see in the earlier section, you got to see, you know, a couple of games and training and seeing how she works and kind of some speculation. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you take a look at my Twitch and YouTube, and, you know, do all the stuff that YouTubers ask you to do. I'm not really concerned with that at the moment, but I'm gonna jump into some games here with her and test her out some more. So I guess this marks the end of the YouTube video, and now we're just gonna kind of keep streaming for a little bit, and we're gonna do some quick play and see how she fares. I'm gonna try and play some heroes that I'm good with rather than just playing her, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm pleased with the design. As someone who mains a healer and whose top 4 heroes are heals and tank, I think that she'll fit in fine. I think that grenade is going to become very, very important to her playstyle. I think that a lot of players are going to try and use it offensively. I don't necessarily think that's a good idea. I think that you should save it as a big burst heal, because there's no other character in the game that can do a large, non-heal over time heal. I'm sure a lot of people haven't played World of Warcraft, but for those who have, the Druid class heals almost exclusively with heal over time, and they end up... Okay, yeah, see, someone's going to queue in, of course. We're all going to queue into her right away. That's not what we're gonna do though. We're on defense. I'll play Roadhog because Roadhog kind of tears Ana apart. But I think we're gonna see. Ooh, interesting. Ana and Farah. I like that they have the similar colors too. I really like that they incorporated similar color design. I think we're gonna see way too many people playing her offensively and not focusing on healing, and I think that's gonna be dangerous. However, I do think that we're going to see. That's really loud. Jeez, those healing effects are really annoying. I do think we're going to see some Anas that are just crazy good. You know, I mean, every 1 in 10 Widows or so is just like really good at getting headshots and taking people out. The rest of them are just mediocre at best. You know, it's the same with Genji and Hanzo. Those high skill characters. You're going to see some people who take the time to actually learn the character and try and get better, and then you're going to see people who think they're good with the character but don't ever try to improve. I think we're going to see a lot more of the second type of person. I think we're going to see very few good Anas, and I think Ana's kind of going to become the next meme character, where people take her because they think that they're good at sniping, and then they can't hit their allies at all. One good thing to say, though, is that it's easier to shoot your allies than your enemies, I've found, simply because it looks like she does about 70 damage per shot. I don't know why I healed there, but whatever. With everyone playing Ana, we're not gonna see much healing anyways, because they're gonna be focusing on sniping. No. It looks like, ooh, this could be interesting. So her thing removes healing and increases damage. If I don't know the percentage that it increases damage by, but if you were to increase that with, say, a Zenyatta, that could get really interesting really quickly. So we're going to switch to Reinhardt because it seems like Ana's going to be the kind of character that's going to do really good against Roadhog because she can just kind of keep that damage draining on him. Roadhog really suffers against like consistent damage. If you don't keep the damage on him, he'll just heal through it. And Ana seems like she can really suppress Roadhog pretty well, which is good because Roadhog is becoming more and more powerful. Now that McCree's nerfed and can't kill him instantly. But it looks like she does about 70 damage. And it looks like her... Oh, nice. Okay, another thing to learn. Do not charge an Ana by yourself, because she will stun you out of the charge. And her stun is confirmed to stop the charge. Now, a good Ana will hit that. A good Ana will hit that soldier. This looks like how most of the games are going to be. Too many people playing Ana. I mean, everyone wants to test her out, but when everyone's testing her, then no one really can, and we're not going to get a good idea of how she fares in a regular game. Okay. Yeah, see, and then they're not even bothering healing me because they're focused on sniping. And this is going to be the problem. So anyone watching this in the highlight or the stream, I mean, I know there's only like one person watching right now, but for you, one person that's watching, be very aware of the fact that it seems like a lot of Anas are going to spend all their time sniping and not doing any healing. And with Zenyatta, that's not a problem because his heal is a passive buff, so you just keep them healed. But with Ana, you know, if you're playing with an Ana, make sure that you get a second healer in there if they're not healing, because it's gonna be problematic. It's gonna be problematic. It seems like her damage does act as a leech for the shield, because I'm draining real quick here.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay, so it doesn't prevent you from dying completely, but it does speed you up considerably. I mean, that felt like a Lucio. That felt like a Lucio speed boost. So, all right. I can't hear you. What are you doing?
The payload has reached the chip.
I'm in the middle of game.
Why
Why are you calling to get something? Okay, well, I told you that I was in the middle of something, so I'll call you after this game, okay? We're almost done. I love you too.
This is not over.
Alright, sorry about that. I had a phone call, you probably heard. So yeah, I mean, playing with this many, I don't think gives you a... I don't think it gives you a good idea of what the character is actually like. I don't think that she's going to be a dedicated healer, though. Oh, they got me to sleep. Run, little soldier, run! It seems like she's going to do really well in coordination with other supports. I don't think that she's going to be a main support. Giving, you know, that Zenyatta ult really makes her do a lot more damage. I mean, it's 50% more, so she's doing 100 and, like 110, 115, something like that. I mean, I'm playing really aggressively here because I'm trying to see how easy it is to kill them. And I don't like playing Reinhardt because I don't like just sitting here. But it seems like she's going to work really well in tandem with others. It'll be interesting to see how much that grenade heals or boosts the healing, because like Lucio does a passive 12.5 health per second, and then when he boosts it, it basically does 40 per second. So now she should have sleep darted me there. It seems like the sleep dart can be used in clutch situations, but also as like a oh shit button to, you know, you get cornered by a Reinhardt, sleep him, and then run. I'm taking that armor. Okay, I'm putting my barrier down. Yeah, she looks really good. Okay, and yeah, that's exactly what you want. Okay. That didn't hit anybody? Jeez. Yeah, I think that we're gonna see her a lot. I'm unfortunately a little bit concerned just because she doesn't have strong heals and nobody seems to be focused on healing. I think a dedicated Ana is gonna be really powerful though. I think that, you know, having someone who can pretty much heal you from anywhere as long as they can see you, really powerful. Shields down. Yeah. It's not going to be a good reflection of how she plays because you're probably going to have one Ana and then a tank and then offensive defensive characters instead of 4. Her damage seems pretty good though. I mean, it's not as powerful as like a Zenyatta who's hitting his shots accurately, but no, there's not much that is. I mean, 75 damage per hit on a body shot with the Discord Orb is pretty dang powerful. I mean, look how quickly I got melted there. That was pretty crazy. Just hit him. Okay, so it looks like the Ana stun is going to be really annoying to deal with as an aggressive tank. It looks like she can really... There we go. Yeah. Yep, should have stunned me. It really seems like Ana is going to be good at handling tanks and kind of slowing them down, because tanks tend to like charge in like that. See, at least someone's trying to heal. Yeah, I think she's going to be cool. I think that she's got a lot of potential. I think that she's a lot like some of the more difficult characters to play, like Genji, where, you know, at first she doesn't seem like she has a ton of stuff going for her, but once you start picking her up a little bit, she gets really powerful. Okay, so it looks like it powers up Reaper ults in terms of like movement speed, so we can cover more area, so that's something to keep in mind. That ult seems to be one of those ults that works really well with like a Zarya or Reinhardt ult. You know, like how the Zarya and Reinhardt ults work, where they are... yeah, see, it does drain your shield, so... And how much? 499? Shoot me. 499 to 419, so that's 80. So it looks like it does 80 damage, which would make sense, because it took about 3 shots to kill a 200 health hero, so... we'll have to test armor, but it looks like it does about 80 damage, because I went from, yeah, 339 to 359. Yes, it does 80 damage, so we know now her weapon does 80 damage a shot. That's actually really powerful. And there you go. You set up a perfect stun stun into charge combo. Ah, tried to do the slam dunk. Didn't work. That's okay. Out there. Okay, well, it's cool. So she does 80 damage, which is respectable, honestly. I mean, 3 shots will kill a 200 health hero. And the cool thing is that it's kind of guaranteed, so it'll help against Lucio's as well. Something to kind of keep in mind. She is. All right. You can charge him pretty easily. Okay, cool. So you can... That ult really gives you a lot of movement speed. I mean, it feels like a speed boost from Lucio, like when he presses E with the speed boost. So really powerful, but it also decreases the damage you take and increases your damage, which for Reinhardt is going to be really good. I don't know why this guy's complaining about tryharding. Like, the whole point is to test things. It's better to test things accurately. See if she stuns me. Okay, so stun will break you out of that as well. Not only does it stop, but if you... So, for Reinhardt players in the future, not only does the stun stop you from charging, but it also breaks you out of any stuns that you do. Really, really interesting stuff. I think that this is going to be a cool character. Yeah, so see, it powered him up, and he didn't take much damage. And then they were shooting him and healing him. Or it might have been our Zenyatta healing. That was good. Yeah, can't wait to see pros play Ana. I hear ya. Alright, well, that's everything that I'm doing, so I'm probably just going to shut down the stream for now. I just wanted to kind of give people a look and get some YouTube content so that it's up there for people to see, so they can kind of see how she's played. I'll probably be streaming later tonight to play her. We'll see what goes on. I might stream for a little bit longer. No, I'm kind of busy right now. I got other things I got to do, so I'll stream later tonight because some friends will be on, and we'll do the PTR and kind of give an actual try on like using her as a dedicated healer in a team where there's no other healers, because I want to see how she fares on her own. Because it's like for right now, Zenyatta is not good. He's not good as a single healer because a lot of times your team gets separated. He can only heal 40 damage per second, so less than Mercy. He has longer range than Mercy, but less healing. So her being able to divide her attention among multiple teammates is good, and healing 80 health per shot, which I'm assuming is what it heals, is good. I mean, it seemed like she shot about 2 shots per second or so, or 1 shot every second. So, I mean, it's not amazing healing. It's better than Lucio, but worse than Zenyatta, it seems like. But it's really reliant on you being good. So, gonna be interesting to see what she does. I really like her shift ability. I really like her E ability. I think that those are going to be useful in a lot of situations. She has a very flexible kit. The lack of movement is going to be a thing to avoid and watch out for, because both Mercy and Lucio have some way to move around the map. Lucio has his speed boost plus his wall ride. If you're good with that, you can get pretty much anywhere with that. Mercy can fly to teammates, so she can get up to teammates up above. She can fly down to teammates. Zenyatta and Ana don't have anything. So that's going to be a big concern. That's going to be something you're going to want to look out for when you're playing this character. I think overall, though, I think that the flexibility of her kit is going to make her really powerful. Being able to stop Reinhardt charges is going to be huge, because there's not really anything other than a Roadhog hook or another Reinhardt charge that can do that at the moment. I guess if you freeze him with Mei or block him with a Mei wall, or I think he can get trapped by Junkrat traps. I don't know. I never really happened to charge through those. But either way, I mean, having a character who can shut down tanks so effectively is going to be really useful. She's not like a tank buster the same way Reaper is, but being able to prevent them from getting healed and being able to kind of keep a consistent damage on them with that dot, going to be really useful. The grenade can be used, as an emergency heal for your teammates or yourself. It can also help another healer. So if you're far back and your Reinhardt is taking some damage, or your Roadhog's taking some damage, and your Mercy's trying to heal him up, and your Mercy's taking damage, you can throw that at both of them, and then the Mercy will super heal the Roadhog, and you can shoot the Mercy, and kind of, you can kind of manage things that way. It also is good for, like, oh, someone's low on health, kill him real quick. Kind of just an oh shit, kind of like a Genji dash or a Junkrat bomb, where you can throw it out really quick and pick up some easy damage. The left shift, like we discussed, can stop ults, can be used defensively, can be used offensively, can stop Reinhardt charges. So if you can hit a Reinhardt while he's pinned someone, you can save them. You can also use it as he's charging you to stop him from hitting you and getting a free kill. It'll be interesting to see what else it works on. I think Ana is going to be really good against Mei and Reaper, characters that are notoriously hard to fight one-on-one because Reaper's got his Wraith form. Being able to stun him prevents him from using that, and a lot of times Reapers will use their Wraith form to run away, so just follow him, and if you can hit the stun afterwards, your team can take him out quickly. It's going to be really good when a Reaper drops in and ults you. You can just shut that down real quick, kind of like McCree does. But it's got longer range. It's harder to hit, but it's got longer range, which is good. What else could be useful? Roadhog ults are good to stop. Who else? I mean, I guess like Soldier. I want to see how it works on a Pharah. But honestly, it seems like you could just snipe her because she's going to be taking damage anyway, so it's only going to take 1 or 2 shots to kill her. But you could use the stun on her. Trying to think of other characters that might be useful to stun. Winston, that would be an interesting one once he goes Primal Rage. It's not super dangerous, but it could be good if he's trying to get you off a point or something. I wonder if it works on Zen. It probably doesn't work on a Zen ult because he's invulnerable to everything else. He can be moved, but I don't think that would work. There's not really any other ults that I can think of that would be really, really vital. I mean, Genji, you could use it on a Genji. It'll be interesting to see if Genji can reflect the dart and hit her with it. That'll make some interesting play between those two characters. McCree's High Noon, we've seen that in trailers. That's a good one to block. Tracer, actually, Ana is going to be really good at killing Tracers because if anyone is with you, you just have to hit her with the dart and then shoot her once, and then the other person will probably do enough damage to kill her. So she might be an anti-Tracer. Let's take a look at other characters. Torbjorn, being able to stop him during his Molten Core so he can't repair his turret could be useful. The turret's hard to kill in Molten Core, though. Being able to pin down a Lucio can be really vital, because oftentimes Lucio uses his wall ride and just his fast movement and the fact that he's constantly regenerating health to his advantage. I wonder if you can preemptively stop a Hanzo ult, but I think once it starts, it shoots regardless, because I've seen Hanzos who just cast it, get killed instantly, and still die. It's got some interesting counter to Widow, because you can kind of keep her silent, but it's probably not the most useful, because she's going to be shooting back at you. Symmetra, interesting. So oftentimes Symmetra players will charge you and zap you with their little beam gun. Being able to stop that is really vital for healers, because oftentimes when I'm charging in as a Lucio behind a Reinhardt or as a Mercy, the Symmetra will latch onto me and then you can't really get away effectively. Being able to stop her and get away is pretty interesting. I think that's going to be good. Diva is kind of a pain. When we were playing that first game, Diva was a pain to handle, or I guess it was the second game, because she can block your shots, so she can make you pretty much useless, but honestly, Diva's not that much of a threat anyways. It could be useful to stun a Zarya when she ults, because then you've taken out some key damage to her ult. Bastion, that's interesting. If that weapon has no range limit and no fall off, you can stun a Bastion and allow your team to get in there and kill them really quickly. So overall, I mean, it seems like she's got good interplay between all the characters in the game. I think that we're going to see her played pretty frequently. Junkrat, I don't know. I don't think Junkrat's going to be a prime target for Ana, just because he's he doesn't have anything that can really be stopped. Most of his stuff is like place stuff down and, you know, shoot grenades and then they explode like 4 years later. So she's not going to be a super good counter to him, but like the, you know, the offensive characters that have channeled ults, like Genji, McCree, Pharah, Soldier, Reaper, pretty much everyone but Tracer, or her shift is going to be really useful. Against tanks like Reinhardt, Roadhog, Zarya, being able to prevent them from healing is going to be really helpful to kill them. I think she's going to be used more on offense than defense, though. Being able to take down a campy Reinhardt or, you know, a stubborn Roadhog can be really useful. It'll be interesting to see what she does. It'll be really interesting to see how she interacts with all these characters, because on the PTR we're going to have like 4 Anas per team, so we really have no idea. You know, we really have no idea how she's going to play by herself with a full team of, like, you know, Ana, Reinhardt, a Genji, a Reaper, maybe like a Zarya, and then, like, you know, I don't know, like a second offense, like a Soldier or something. Interesting interplay between her and Soldier's healing, both on offense and defense. She can increase Soldier's healing, so if Soldier puts his heal down, she can throw her bomb on top of it, and it'll increase the healing even further, making Soldier a more viable healer. So on a Soldier teams might actually be good if they're coordinating, because you can actually get some pretty powerful heals out of that. Also, if you're facing an enemy Soldier, throwing your grenade on that will stop it. Really useful. You can shut down Soldiers who would otherwise be pretty sticky. Same with Roadhog. It'll be interesting to see how she plays with Lucio, simply because Lucio is, you know, he's got that static heal, and it'll be interesting both playing against and as him to see how much that really hampers you, because Lucio's heal is pretty weak. It's not amazing by any means, and I think that it's going to be interesting to see how an effective Ana can stop a Lucio. So interesting stuff. You might also be able to stun a Mei before she can ice block. She'll ice block right after if you don't kill her, but interesting to see how that works. It'll also be interesting to see if the dot effect works after Mei has ice blocked, because it heals her. I want to know if it cancels that damage or if the damage would actually prevent her from healing the full way. Because I think the heal is something like 180 or 200 health. It's a lot. Like, I mean, you can heal from like a third of your health all the way up with Mei to 250. So it'll be interesting to see if Ana can kind of shut that down and make Mei's a little bit less effective. So yeah, overall, I think all the characters have some interesting interplay with her. I think that she's going to see a really interesting place in the meta, because I don't think that she's going to be like, you know, booting Mercy and Lucio from the top 2 healer positions now that we have a 4th healer. But I think that she is going to be a niche character. You know, I mean, a lot of pro teams right now are running Lucio and Mercy. Sometimes maybe you want to run a Mercy and an Ana, or a Lucio and an Ana instead. Being able to decrease the healing of the enemy team is going to be huge, especially with coordinated teams in competitive play. I mean, you know, you got a Reaper or a Pharah. Like, imagine Seagull playing Pharah, and then God's playing Ana, and he calling out his targets that he's marking. So he marks the target, and they're taking increased damage from 120 damage direct rockets or 140 damage Reaper shots. That's pretty huge. I think Ana and Tracer could also be interesting, because, you know, Tracer does 240 damage if all 40 of her bullets hit. It's 6 damage per shot for 40 shots, so 240 total. So increasing that, and that's not headshots, it's 480 with headshots. So increasing the 240 makes her really effective. And that grenade can be lobbed from pretty far. So some interesting interplay between characters. Being able to increase damage and decrease healing on enemies is going to be really useful in a lot of situations. I mean, you could have Ana and Widow sniping together. The Ana throws the grenade, Widow takes him out, and, you know, that might put Widow back into one-shot body shots on Zen and Tracer. Put her close to killing the 200 health heroes, so she can just, you know, double tap them really quick. Ana will probably be shooting at them as well, which means that could be interesting. So a lot of interesting team compositions. One thing, Genji gets increased move speed when he's ulting, so having an Ana give him extra damage and more mobility and decreased damage taken, really, really, really powerful, I bet. I would not be surprised at all if we see Genji Ana being really powerful. Genji's going to be hard to heal with Ana, though. The mobile characters like Tracer and Genji, really going to be difficult. Characters like Pharah and the tanks and Soldier, ones that can't move as quickly, really good. So, if you're playing Ana or if you're playing with an Ana, be aware of that. Be aware of the fact that Ana is not going to be able to heal these faster characters that are moving all over the place as effectively as she's going to be able to heal some of the slower characters that you can get a bead on. Yeah, so pay attention to that. I think a lot of people are going to try and play her as an offensive hero that can heal. I think that you should play her as a defensive or a healer that can play offensively. I think that's going to be a lot better. Focus on healing and focus on assisting your team rather than getting kills yourself. She's powerful enough to get kills on her own, and I would not feel uncomfortable one-on-oneing someone with Ana because of that stun and that bomb and her 80 damage shots. But I think overall she's going to be much better as a healer who provides offensive capabilities. I think she's kind of the antithesis to Zenyatta's playstyle, which is, I guess if you rank all 4 healers on a spectrum of, on the right you have damage dealing is the priority, and on the left is healing is the priority. Mercy is pretty much right over here. 90% of the time you're going to be healing someone. The other 10% you're probably going to be damage boosting someone. Very rarely are you ever pulling out your pistol. I mean, you can, but it's almost always better to damage boost another player. Lucio can do damage, but he's more focused on healing. So on the spectrum, if the right or left side of the screen is all healing, Lucio's kind of over here somewhere where he is, he's mostly healing, but his heal isn't as good, so he needs to be focusing on also assisting his allies and killing them. And, you're also utilizing your speed boost a lot as Lucio. If a Mei drops her ult, speed boost your team out of it. Speaking of which, I'm going to put up a Lucio tutorial eventually, because I see a lot of Lucios not using their speed boost correctly. I see a lot of Lucios not wall riding, things like that. So I'd like to see some better Lucio play. Zenyatta on this spectrum, going back to the spectrum, Zenyatta's all the way over here. He can heal, so he's somewhere in the middle here, but further towards damage. I mean, Zenyatta does 50 damage per shot, 100 on a headshot, so he can kill all the offensive heroes but Reaper in two headshots. With the Discord Orb on, that increases his damage by 50%, meaning that he's now doing 75 damage per body shot and 150 per headshot. He can one-shot Tracer and other Zens with headshots, and he can two-shot all of the offensive heroes. And he'll 3-shot a Bastion and then 4 to 6 shots on tanks. So he's doing a lot of damage, and his role is to do damage and heal secondarily. You throw your orb on your Reinhardt, and then you start shooting. Ana's somewhere in the middle. She's kind of balancing that out, where you've got 2 dedicated healers and 1 damage dealer that can heal. And Soldier's kind of over here as well. Soldier's on the far end. He can heal, but he's not a dedicated healer. So use your heal to heal allies, but focus on killing. Zenyatta's right in here, where he is mostly focused on dealing damage, but he can keep his allies up pretty effectively. And Ana's somewhere in the middle. 80 health, either down from your enemies or up for your allies, makes her pretty balanced in that she's not doing way more damage than healing, and she's not doing way more healing than damage. All of her abilities affect both sides except for her ult. So her grenade, and I guess her sleep dart, but her grenade can debuff enemies and buff allies, meaning that she can play either side of the field. She can be helping your team kill them or keeping your team alive. Whereas Lucio and Mercy really don't have that option as much. Like, if you're hitting headshots with Lucio, you can pick up some kills on your own, but it's not your primary function, whereas Ana can be. So I think you got to keep that in mind. She's more flexible than the other healers, in that she can be really keeping allies alive, and if you focus entirely on keeping your allies up, you're going to do a decent job. But if you focus on killing enemies, you're also going to do you're also going to be able to benefit your team that way. And so final thoughts, I'm definitely going to be playing Ana a lot. I'll be streaming later tonight with her on, just as a a test. I'm going to keep playing on the test realm and seeing how she's playing and seeing, you know, what she's capable of. Hopefully more people will start playing actual teams, so I'm not playing with 3 other Annas. I really want to see what she plays like by herself as the only healer. Because I've played Zenyatta as a solo healer. I've played all the other healers as solo healers. So I kind of have a feel for how they work. It's going to be hard to see where she fits into the mix when, you know, you've got 4 of them on a team. It's going to be really interesting to see how she plays by herself. So overall, first impressions, thumbs up. You know, I'll probably be recording some actual videos on this, but I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts out there, and I'll do a more organized video that I'll film later as well. Really interesting, though. Really interesting. So we're going to be done for now. So, yeah, thanks for watching if you watched. I'll put this whole thing up on YouTube as one big chunk. I'll probably do some dedicated tutorials afterwards. Yeah, that's all I have to say. So, there you go.